Which one? Okay, that's not. It's fine.
It's always funny to me.
I've done a lot of radio interviews, so it's fine. We can start anywhere.
Okay, gotcha. Hey guys, and welcome to Sounds Like NYC. I'm here with my friend, the ATif.
Yes.
That's
How are you
it,
doing,
right?
David? Yes.
Very good.
That's
Where
my
else can we
stage name,
start?
but my name is Ali Khan,
Uh-huh.
AK. Yeah.
Guys, so tell me a little about yourself.
So, since you were showcasing the artists of New York,
Of course.
yeah, so I have various aspects to my personality,
Okay.
which touch on various aspects of art.
Mhm.
So if I go back in time and if I recall, then I find myself drawing Supermans and Night Riders and
Mhm.
Werewolves in my spare time. And then as I grew up and I was forced into technical drawing from
Okay.
like fine arts or
Mhm.
drawing, like color pencils and sketching, I found losing touch with that fine arts
Mhm.
part of me. So later, I met a friend who was into keyboards,
Okay.
and he used to bring keyboard, a small toy keyboard at our in our class.
Mhm.
And I was fascinated with the way he used to play the title musics of Airwolf and Night Rider and stuff. And I was really fascinated, I would say.
I want to do that.
Yes. And so I started taking lessons from him,
Uh-huh.
and then I still remember when I was very young, I used to sing in the classes and my farewells and parties, school activities. So singing was always there, but I started playing keyboard in school, and then as I continued this musical journey, I started writing songs. Then I later picked up guitar as well
Mhm.
because it was more convenient, a little romantic as well, so to say.
I think that's why everybody gets in.
Yeah, I know. That's what
Let's
they
be
say.
honest.
Yeah. So, but it's more convenient as well because
course,
you don't
yeah.
have to plug it in.
Yeah.
The acoustic guitar you can play just like that, unless you have an upright piano at your home, which is too hard to maintain in terms of tuning and
Yeah.
everything. And so I continued this journey,
Mhm.
but down the road, and also the fact that I don't have to run after the guitar players. Sorry, you've been a guitarist as well. So there's always this limelight issue between all my ex-guitar players and myself in various bands.
Yeah.
So I thought I might as well, pick up guitar, and then I learned it from my guitarist in my previous band, and I said goodbye to him.
So how many bands have you been in?
I would say that 5, 6.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
So you got a good sort of sample.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, which instrumentalist is the hardest to get along with?
Which instrumentalist is hard to get along with?
Yes. The hardest. I think it's a singer. No offense.
Actually, the kind of music I do, like rock and roll, you cannot survive without live music.
Right.
So for you or for me, the lead guitarist is the most important person. Even now, currently, people love my lead guitarist, Stone, and I'm also fascinated with him. But for rock, obviously, lead guitarist
Right.
is the guy, because you see all the rock, all the Jimmy Pages and Slashes and
Definitely.
Richie Blackmore,
Yeah.
and all these people, and then you can't help but follow them.
That's true.
And then I recently, it was a revelation for me. I went to see Paul Rogers and Jeff Beck was the final act.
Mhm.
And I had heard of Jeff Beck, but I never knew that he was such a major player. When I heard him, I was like totally in shock. He was just amazing, and I started, did some research on him. I found that he's playing since Led Zeppelin's
Wow.
years. And recently watching one of David Gilmour's interview, and he said that his favorite guitarist is Jeff Beck, and there is no doubt there's something unique about him in terms of his improvisation playing. And although I'm a big fan of Wise and Joe Satriani's and you know, those guys who are into instrumental side of it, but I was pleasantly mesmerized by Jeff Beck. So what I'm saying is that behind every good rock band, he's the man behind the gun.
Right.
So you cannot help but be in love with one of those players. So yes, and then drummer is the heartbeat of the band, and he's also equally important. Like Phil Collins said that the difference between a normal band and an extraordinary band is the drum.
Really?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, because at the end, especially when it comes to rock, it's more about groove and more about words.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of bands like U2, for example. Foo Fighters, they don't have guitar solos, but they have amazing drummers, and which is their collective thing, I guess.
Right. But who has the biggest ego?
Who has the biggest ego? I would say, like I will defend all the lead singers. But,
of course you would.
But the thing is, if you go into my subconscious, or if I try to investigate my own conscience, then I would say that I am a slave to the rest of the players in the band.
And what do the other players think?
And that is because probably that is because of the limelight issues.
Of course.
And you cannot deny that that the lead singer is the face of the band. And if there's a tug of war between lead singer and lead guitarist, then the bands are meant to be doomed.
Right.
For example, bands like Toto, like Van Halen, all these great bands, but they were always on the edge due to their ever-changing lead singer lineup. And that is why if you look at bands such as U2 and Pink Floyd and Guns N' Roses, you see that they're there. AC/DC, they're there because their lead singer is the same. Right. Unless they die, that's a different case. Like for example, in case of AC/DC. But if you see bands such as Deep Purple, they are not up there because of Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. So various lineups.
Yeah.
And again, I would not deny that lead guitarist is also the sound, is the signature of a band, especially when it comes to rock. So I firmly believe that bands that have great chemistry between the lead singer and the guitarist, such as Queen, Freddie Mercury and Brian May, Slash and Axl Rose, and Edge and Bono, so it all depends how you take it. I have tried my level best, but at the end of the day, vocal is vocal, and an instrument is an instrument. One person is using his voice as an instrument, and the other person is using his fingers or his mind, so to say. So there are different paradigms, and there shouldn't be any clash. Right. It's about chemistry.
Yeah, like I always say, the good mark of a band, for it to be a good band, it's not just being good at your instrument, it's also like how well you guys mesh together. Yes. Because if there's fighting inside the band, then the music's not going to be as clear as it should be.
Absolutely, because it's not about this. If you look at all these super groups that they make, they are maybe amazing players, amazing musicians, but they never become the Beatles or Led Zeppelins or the Doors, because their gelling chemistry is not there. So if 4 people work as a unit and their chemistry is strong, then they're bound to create good sound and mutual respect, and all of them are pulling their weight together. Then I totally agree with you that they are bound to create good music. Like there are a lot of, many examples where you see average players. If look at it, Beatles were also average players, and bands such as Oasis and I can name numerous of them.
Right.
They were average players, but just because they were out to tell a story, they were out to tell to create a unique sound and a unique approach to songwriting and new ideas. Look at Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They were not maestros, but again, they left a mark because
They all work together to make that story.
Exactly.
Exactly. So how many instruments do you play?
I play keyboards and guitars.
Keyboards and guitar.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've become a better, let's say guitarist because you picked up the piano, or a better pianist because you picked up guitar?
I have a severe dilemma
Okay.
going on within me because I think like a guitarist, but I compose like a pianist.
Interesting.
And I approach a song like a pop singer, but I have a tone of a rock singer. So I try to use it at my best advantage because people are not particularly interested in extremely technical musicians. It's all about feel.
Right.
As the great Jimi Hendrix said, he was considered one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And he said, I don't think on those terms, I just go with the feel. So wherever the feel is taking me, I just do that thing. So I also don't categorize myself per se, but like I told you, the paradox or the conflict that's going on inside me. So I think that bands that have a popish approach, even irrespective of the fact that how heavy their sound is, like AC/DC or Def Leppard or Bryan Adams, so they are, so to say, or even Elvis, they are rock bands, but their approach is rather popular and is more mainstream.
And I think that in itself is an art, trying to make something that you think of, palatable to the general public.
Right.
That in itself is an art because you have to make sure that your story is still being told, you're not compromising on it,
That's correct.
but that everybody enjoys listening to it.
Yes, audio without audiences, the word is not there. Audio,
Exactly.
someone who's listening to you, someone who can relate with you. But one thing that I really keep in forefront when I'm writing a song is to keep it original, to keep it unique, because at the end of the day, that's the only prevailing factor.
Right.
And fortunately, we are in a day and age where we have complete control over our creative output. It's cost effective. You can reach your target audience wherever you want to go.
Yep.
And you can choose your clan, you can choose your tribe, and just keep on doing what you think is right. And soon enough, you will find your own target audience. And now everything is so open, architecture, open source, to that everything is going live.
But how much of that do you think is actually at the detriment of the artist? Like, how much do you think the artist should be paying attention to distribution, marketing, all that stuff?
I think it is very important.
Okay.
For some people, this is acting counterproductive. But for people like me, I think we are at a transformational golden spot, sweet spot, in the sense that I enjoy tremendous control over what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it boils down to, right? Just control.
Yes, because ever since from the days of Beatles to Led Zeppelin, Doors, Black Sabbath, and Queen, and then Michael Jackson, and Phil Collins, and Bon Jovi, and through the 90s of grunge revolution, and then when you come to 2000s System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine, Linkin Park, you will see Limp Bizkit. You will see that there was a tug of war going on between the label and the artist.
Yes.
That buffer zone is gone, and we are totally can do things on our own terms. We don't need a huge studio to book or to rent, and we don't need huge consoles. Everything is virtual.
Yeah, there's no paywall now.
Yes, and you are able to get 100% of your royalties. Like if a song is sold for $1, I will be able to get $1. But now the challenge is, can I make a song that somebody would like to listen to, buy, or maybe
because there's so many out there,
yes,
right?
everybody's out there.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone is there.
Everybody and their mother.
All the qualities, all the the stratas of artists are there.
Yeah.
Now it is up to you. Can you create something that goes beyond the ballpark? Throws.
Just notice my button.
Yeah. So
why'd you tell me anything?
yeah. Sorry.
My button was unbuttoned. You didn't tell me anything. I look like a fool now. But no, so I actually wanted to ask you something because, funny enough, I hear so many people who I interview.
Yeah.
They're from Brooklyn.
Right.
You're not.
No,
You're
I'm from
Queens.
Queens.
Right.
Yeah.
So, born and raised Brooklyn, Queens boy, right? I think I was more than half of my time in Queens though. I felt like I've grown a love to the borough, right? And not many people see that. So what about Queens do you think is special, if anything?
I think Queens has its own culture because I think Queens play.
It is the most diverse borough.
Yes,
by
and the fact that Long Island is part of that entire community. You can see all these people live here.
Yeah.
All the top concerts are happening there in the south, and so I think particularly in terms of rock, because Brooklyn is more rap and hip hop, or maybe Bronx as well. But when it comes to Queens, fortunately, it's the word Queen is there for me, so it's a huge attraction. But apart from that, I see amazing musicians over here. When I go to open mics, when I go to bars, I see appreciation. I feel my pride over there. A stranger for them, I am a total stranger. But the moment I go on the mic and I start singing, suddenly they become my friends,
right?
Which is a great feeling. And I have seen only, I went to San Francisco to explore this community that I had heard of all my life, or I went to LA as well, but I could never find that kind of, the vibe and the community that embraces rock and roll like that. And not just rock and roll, but the real rock and roll, like more classic rock, all the 70s and 60s, maybe 80s as well, and even 90s and 2000s. So anything that is good, people love it over here, and I feel really comfortable because first of all, there is no clash of rap and rock going on, because of course rap and hip hop is everywhere. But like in my song, I try to amalgamate and I try to fuse rap and rock, and I think they're not separate genres. And ever since this 2000s revolution with all these System of Down and Ratum and Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park came in, they changed the scene. Yeah. So now it's to a brand new level, and
even now, like with certain bands right now or certain musicians right now, they're trying to sort of like blend the two, which is it's great. I love the music.
Absolutely, because if you look at it, rap or hip hop is more about rhythm, and at the core of it, rock and roll is also about rhythm.
Right. Yeah.
So apart from the ballads aspect, that's more, and also like synth pop, it's more driven towards keyboards and other instruments. But at the core of it, the revolution started with guitar, with Led Zeppelin and Elvis and Little Richard. So we cannot deny the fact. Yeah. And I think I may be overstating it, but I would say that Long Island could be the rock and roll capital of the world. That's what I firmly believe.
Yeah, I've met some really cool people from Long Island. Really
amazing. And even if you go to the concerts over here, like last month I went to Whitesnake, and you see people that you never see anywhere. I mean, you feel such emotional proximity to them because they're wearing similar rock clothes like leathers and
Yeah.
jeans and
Yeah.
long hair.
Mhm.
So I just love and feel very fortunate to be part of it. And when these organizers they send me message to perform at venues, and when I send them my new singles, and the way they respond to it, I feel associated, and I feel that that sense of community or the sense of belonging, which is probably the part of every cult, you know.
Yeah. I wanted to convert somebody who loves Brooklyn. So like giving Queens a chance.
Yeah,
Where should I take them?
given like you saying that you want somebody from Brooklyn
Yes.
come to Queens.
Yes. Like a specific neighborhood in mind you have that you think anybody from Brooklyn might like in Queens. Because a lot of times people don't want to come in Queens. Because they feel like
I don't
nothing's
want
over
to
here.
go to Brooklyn actually because I
Really?
never find parking over there.
No, that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one of my friends have.
I mean, at least we have that going for us, right? We
Sorry?
have parking. At least we have parking over here.
Yes, I mean, fine. I mean, in my, for example, in my neighborhood, like for even here, I found parking. In my hillside area, it's totally available all the time, 24 hours. But I've seen people in Brooklyn.
It's so tough.
Oh my God!
It's so tough.
That's part of their schedule. They
Yeah, I don't know
have
how
to
bands
keep track
do it.
of. Yes.
I don't know how bands like take their bands to Brooklyn,
Yes.
perform, and then come back with like everything.
I don't know because I went, like I said, twice I went to a studio in Brooklyn where I was recording vocals, and it was a nightmare.
Mm.
Although it was early in the morning, but still it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
and I went for a couple of job interviews as well in Brooklyn, and it was I had to take my wife because I told her, we can do it in the car, and then I'll come back because it's so terrible. And so I would never want to trade off Queens.
Parking.
And like you said, there are a lot of media companies are there, a lot of studios are there, and of course it's I would say it's home of hip hop. I would
Yeah.
say, if the home of house is Bronx, home of hip hop and rap is Brooklyn. But fortunately, I'm also in a different genre, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And I get so many calls for jams in Long Island and adjacent areas, and although I never thought it in that way, I had it at the back of my mind, but I was not really sure until I heard the endorsement from you that there is this difference, and I find many mainstream musicians who have their houses in Long Island.
Yeah. 'Cause it's so cheap over there. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of land for
Right.
what you pay.
yeah,
This podcast, I don't want it. It's about the artist,
okay.
but it's also about New York City in a whole.
Right.
Right. So, what are your favorite parts of the city that you love going to?
I think New York City, I just love every aspect of the city because it has always been a hub of nurturing artists. Even if you go back to early 70s or mid 60s and late 60s, any artist from any part of the world used to think that they'll come here, they'll get a $300 apartment, and they will make a living from here. And many of them have been successful, such as Madonna, such as Lady Gaga, and numerous other acts, Lenny Kravitz. They all grew from here. And I think this is also not only the crossroad of the world, I think it is actually the art capital of the world.
Yeah.
Whether it is any
100%.
any art form you take, whether it is dance, whether it
100%.
is fine arts, whether it is music, whether
Film.
it is film,
Yeah.
whether it is television, whether it is singing, of course, part of music, theater, you name it, it's the art capital of the world.
Yep.
So, but sometimes people feel tough because, of course, there is competition and people are coming from all the parts of the world and all the parts of America as well. But if you have something unique to offer, you will not find any better city. I mean, I've been a world traveler. I've seen everything from LA to Tokyo.
Mhm.
But even I feel the creative vibe a lot in LA.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel the energy, and I don't feel the desperation or or the magnetism
Yeah.
that I feel, or the flux,
Mhm.
the sense of urgency
Mhm.
in New York
Yeah.
to make it big or to make it is just amazing, and it's part of the motivation. I mean, it's totally up to us, but like I said about the business model of today, the modern music business model,
Mhm.
you can use it for your advantage or you can just complain about it.
Yeah.
So if you are tough cookie,
Mhm.
then you can easily make in New York, because if you have something solid and unique to offer to the city will respond, because there are buyers of every product, of every
Yeah.
price. So in that context, I think I've been curating a lot of art exhibitions. I've written a lot about mainstream arts, fine arts, in various galleries. I write for this website called Art Fuse. For Jamie, who's also a fine artist.
Mhm.
Jamie Martinez, I guess. So he sends me to various exhibitions, and I go there and I see artists from all over the world
Mhm.
showcasing their work,
Right.
and I just love and I feel proud of being in New York, that we have that capacity and potential and scope to provide
Mhm.
to the whole world. So for me, New York is not only the art capital of the world; it is the capital of the world as well.
Yes.
Because anyone who wants to make it big in America has to go through this buffer zone. This is the screen. This is the filter. If any band wants to make it big in US, they have to pass the test of New York.
Yeah.
So again, whoever sells Madison Square Garden fastest is the best band in the world,
Mhm.
or solo actor, whatever. So New York is the most important part, or I would say a phase of any artist. If you can pass this test, you can just be anywhere and do anything. I mean, if you take America as a small version of the world, with all the cultures there, with all the creams of art forms, you will find it in New York
Yes.
with its artistic scope, projection, penetration, and viability and commercial response to it. So, I have always found myself playing with, like I said, my writing, with my poems, with my songwriting, photography, graphic designing, writing, filmmaking.
Mhm.
Everything is there. All you have to do is have that potential and that desire to make your impact or leave your signature.
In other words, suck it, LA. We're the better.
Well,
Let's
LA
be
is
honest.
LA is all Hollywood,
Yeah.
and it's all film, but also because of this.
I mean, the city has a different vibe. I mean, we have grit just in us. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We have
That's the word.
that hustle mentality in
That's
us.
the word.
Because we have to hustle, or else we can't pay rent.
Yes,
I mean,
we have
it's
to
just
make it
as simple
happen.
as that.
Yes, we have to make it happen. I was
Yeah.
listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger's some motivational speech on YouTube, and he said that you don't need to have a plan B. You have to stick to your plan
Yeah.
A, and you have to ensure that you make it happen.
Yep.
So we are movers and shakers, and
Yeah.
we make it happen.
I mean, people don't come to the city to survive; they come to thrive.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean,
it's not a
if
place
you
for
get the
survival.
opportunity, come over here. But listen, it's gonna be tough.
Exactly.
Really tough.
Yes. I mean, even for the tourists, it's considered to be one of the rudest places on the planet. But it's it is just because of the fabric of
We're
the
not
city.
rude. We're just in a rush.
Yes, exactly.
That's
What I tell them.
Yeah.
I told one of my friends from Chicago is a prominent cancer doctor. His name is Sayyid Ali Talib, and he's a celebrity doctor.
really.
Yeah, and he
They
was
have those.
coming in television. Once I was sitting there, I saw him on TV, then I saw him on ABC, and he also keeps sending me his latest books and things. So I told them, they are not angry. If you want to fight, try and fight with them. They will not fight. They will
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
They just are loud and they might shout, but they will never, because they don't have time to fight. It's not that they don't want to fight. they just don't have time for it.
We're not Boston.
Yes.
We're not that angry, right?
Or Pennsylvania.
Or Pennsylvania, exactly, or Pittsburgh.
Or Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Jersey.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's an amazing place, and you, if you want, I mean, for a change, if you go to West, you will, for a first a day or two, you will feel good because people are so laid back and relaxed and nice.
No, I've been there a couple times. I hate it after a couple days.
Yes,
I can't stand it.
yeah, because you feel that they are irresponsible or they are
Just lazy.
Yeah,
Lazy.
that's the word. Yeah. But it's because we are in a constant flux in New York, and which is again a good aspect of it, and some people take it wrong, but for me, I think this is the essence, and this is the most motivating factor for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for something, you will get a response, yes or no.
Mhm.
That's it. It's not like you are just talking to the walls. No, people, you will get a response, and if you have some idea, like for example, I was stating that even in LA, since New York is also the TV capital of the world, you will see that video on demand platforms are taking over, and those studios and those cinemas, they don't have the same deal that they used to enjoy.
No.
So even in that context, New York is also giving a lot of rebates and promoting the film industry. And if you look at 90% of movies shot in LA are made about New York.
That's true.
If you go into Universal Studios, you will see all the neighborhoods, Queens, and all the different landmarks and everything. So if you're talking about urban, it's
100%.
everybody wants to take a bite of this big apple.
Of course. I mean, that's what we have here, right?
Yeah.
So you normally, one of my flagship questions is, how do you think New York City has changed you and your art, if at all?
I think it has changed.
It's pushed to the right way.
Sorry,
It's pushed you in a good way.
yes, because I see a scope of things that I don't see in any part of the world. Maybe Europe is more relaxed, like Scandinavia is more relaxed. But as a New Yorker, I feel that I'm either sleepwalking or in 80s.
Yeah.
Because it's slow motion over there. Everything is so fast, and that flux is addictive. That speed, that rush, we are addicted to this buzz and rush. So everything that comes here or comes out from here is filtered, and it has scope to reach any target audience, because not only the performers or the artists, you get the best curators over here, you get the best audience over here, because whoever is coming out of their home to do something, or to see you or to judge you, they really mean it. No, these days nobody wants to be in the comfort of their home, because everything is available on their remote and their smart screens. So I think for me, I have found tremendous reception in everything that I've done, whether it was my book, whether it was my documentary, whether it was my songs. I get a tremendous response, because like I said, if you have something solid to offer, the city will respond. And then there are numerous examples, like I said, Madonna, Lady Gaga, of course, and numerous others that I cannot recall right away, but if you look at them, if you go into their Wikipedias, you will see New York.
Exactly. So let me ask you, do you have any new projects coming out soon?
Yes, I'm working on Silent Warrior, coming song for July 4th, and it is about the law enforcement officers, FBIs and CIAs and everyone, and how they put their lives on risk to protect us, to preserve our freedoms. And I hope so, probably by next week I'm going to release it. It's in the final phase of audio production, then I'm going to go into the radio. Jamaica has done a rap on it, and I've done the main chorus and the entire song composition and everything. So I hope you're gonna like it, and especially with all this Russian, cyber attacks and
Yeah.
everything. The face of our protection is different now. It's more about cybersecurity and everything. So you will find it interesting, I hope.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It was a real pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Thank you.